Okay, we are now going to do a platform level backup of SharePoint 2010, and we're going to use DocAve 6 and TSM version 6.3.3 server, 6.4 client. The setup I have on TSM is exactly the same as the one I had when I did my Granular backup. I have a node called VM-SP-DocAve, which is going to accept the data from DocAve version 6. That node has been already created. And I also have here a SharePoint 2010 Service Pack 1 farm. I only have one site, one front-end web server in my environment, one farm, so my environment's pretty simple for the purposes of this demonstration. I'm going to go ahead and bring up DocAve, and I'll click on Backup, Platform Backup and Restore. Just so I can show you what I've already done in backup, this is the same storage policy, physical devices and logical devices that I had for the Granular backup. I have a physical device that points to TSM, to the TSM node. I have a logical device which is used in DocAve to consolidate physical devices. For me, I'm only going to use my TSM server, so my logical device only has one physical device in it, the TSM physical device. And then I have my storage policy, which defines my retention period and tells me how long I'm going to keep my backups. I'll go ahead and close the control panel. And the first thing I'll do is double click on my farm, and what DocAve is going to do is go out and use the SharePoint APIs to query the SharePoint environment and pull back all the information about what's in the SharePoint environment. As you can see, you have 2 pages of information here. I'm going to go ahead and pick up my whole farm, which includes all of this information, and I'm also going to head and pick up my front-end web server here. So I'll select that to back up. Next thing I'll do is I'll do a plan builder in wizard mode. If you watched the Granular backup, this worked exactly like the Granular backup. You have a nice wizard that takes you through step by step all the information you need to do this. I'm going to call my plan full, since it's going to be a full backup of everything. I'm going to go ahead and create a new pan. DocAve has the ability to perform a log backup for you. In our case, for our demonstration, we're using SQL Server Express to store our SharePoint data. So it's going to have a simple recovery mode, and so the log reset is not going to be necessary, but DocAve could do that for you if it were necessary. I'll go ahead and click on Next. I'm going to go ahead and click on my storage policy that I want to use, which is going to go ahead and tell DocAve where to send the information when it does the backup. Same as the Granular, I can do compression or encryption if I choose to. You can create persistent snapshots of the selected objects. I'm not going to go ahead and do that. You can use InstaMount to make item level restore more efficient. Again, for the purposes of our test, we're not going to do that, or use any sort of staging policy. I'm just going to run this platform backup straight away. So I'm not going to create a schedule for it. And again, I'm not going to do any maintenance of the snapshot data, or generating InstaMount, or generating the Granular restore index. So here's the backup I'm going to do. It's going to be essentially a full backup of the entire platform. I'm going to do finish and run now. And the one thing I'm going to do is, for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to select the Restore Granular granularity level to be the item version level, because I want to show you DocAve taking a full platform backup and picking only one object out of it to do the restore. So I'm going to go ahead and change that restore granularity level and click OK. And now my backup has started. So if I go to backup and go to the job monitor, here you're going to see the job monitor for the platform level backup. In a second, when the backup kicks off, we should see the job pop into the job monitor, and there it goes. Again, for the purposes of just not making you wait, I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording, and we'll come back when it's 100% completed. Okay, the full backup has now completed. Let's go ahead and take a look at the log. So we'll select it and we'll do a view details. And as you can see, we did finish on the statistics. If we look at the details, you'll note that we had some skipped components, and those are the incremental backup of the database, or the resetting of the logs, and that was simply because the database model was simple, because we were using SQL Server Express Edition. So that's to be expected and okay. We didn't have any failed components. We did have all the successful backups. So that backup looks good. I'll go ahead and close that. And when our job monitor comes back, we'll go ahead and close the job monitor. I think I may have timed out here, so what I'll do is I'll go ahead and close this, close DocAve, sign back into DocAve, just so we have that running. So we'll leave this running on platform backup and restore, just so we can do that in a second. Now what I'll do is, rather than demonstrate a full platform restore, we're going to demonstrate one of the unique features of DocAve, which is to automatically, from a platform backup and restore, the ability to take a single object, restore it to a temporary database, and then place it in the SharePoint form in its proper place. So in order to do that, we'll use the same object, this image readme. We'll go out here and delete it, just like we did with our Granular backup. This is SharePoint 2010 SP1, so we have a recycle bin. We'll go ahead and delete the selection from the recycle bin so that it's completely gone. If we go back to test site, there it is, gone. And now we're ready to do the platform restore. So we'll do a restore. And the restore for the platform backup works very similarly to the restore for the Granular backup. You have a wizard with steps. You can go in and find particular plans. I'll go ahead and expand this so I can kind of see things a little better here. You can filter on particular plans, filter on particular jobs, or filter on particular time reigns. I only have one full backup to choose from, so I know which one I want to use. If I had others, I would see them in this calendar view. I'll go ahead and pick the one I did and then do a next. And now I'm going to select the data I want to restore, and from this platform backup I'm only going to restore a single object. So I'm going to double click this to expand it, and Then I will expand the web front end servers. I'm going to go back to the front end and go to the farm, and I will look at the Microsoft SharePoint Foundation web application and go to my particular site, and then look at the content for my particular site. Now I'm able to view details of that particular site, and I can click on Restore Granular Content and browse the index that was stored with the platform backup that allows me to pick particular content. I'll go and take my VMSP selection, and then I'll do a view content and a view details. Double click VMSP, double click top level site, double click the list. I'll look at the shared documents, double click the root folder, double click items, and now I've drilled down in my site to the particular content that I'm going to want to restore. I'm going to go ahead and take the image README, and note here that I have the option, just like in the Granular Restore, to be able to restore security. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Note again, same as the Granular Restore, I can restore it in place to the original SharePoint location, or I can do an out of place that will restore it to another SharePoint location. I'm going to go ahead and do it in place. I'm going to overwrite the existing content and take the defaults with the rest of the information for the restore. I'm going to go ahead and do the restore once the wizard is finished. And now I've gone through all the steps of the wizard, so I'm ready to do the restore. And I'll do a finish. My restore job has started. And I'll go to Job Monitor, and when the job starts, I should see it pop up here in my list view. And there's my full platform restore that is happening right now. And again, I'll pause the recording while that takes place and come back when it's completed. Okay, my restore has now finished. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the log. So I'll select it and do a view details. You see the job has finished. Total number of successful objects 2. We can go in there and take a look at the details, and you can see that I have one document that has been restored. I'll go ahead and close that, and I'll go back to my SharePoint test site, and if I refresh the test site, you can see that my document is back, the image README. And note that it has its original time, and if I go and look at its permissions are back. So the permissions have been restored, the time has been restored, and DocAve has restored the database in which that object was stored to a temporary location, plucked the object out, and put it back in the SharePoint site. So that's going to conclude our platform backup and restore demonstration for DocAve 6, SharePoint 2010, and Tivoli Storage Manager 6.3, 6.4.